Welcome to Therapist Spotlight.
Hello everybody and welcome to Anta's Therapist Spotlight, the podcast where we aim to showcase our members to the wider community for exposure to natural medicine and to show how it fits into the general landscape. I'm your host Joshua Brooks, and with us today is Charmaine Renaud. Charmaine has been a practitioner for 25 years and is a traditional Chinese medicine therapist and a remedial massage therapist. So this is going to be a great conversation with a wealth of knowledge for everybody. So Charmaine, how are you?
Hello. Good morning. How are you going?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you?
That's good. Yeah, really great. Thanks.
Excellent. Well, first question, what got you into natural medicine?
Oh, well, 25 years ago, I was really, really sick. I had a severe lump in my pancreas, so I was just very, very ill. And that's when I started discovering natural therapies. And so obviously I needed to heal myself first. And as I did that, I realized, I'd love to help others. And that's when I got into the massage therapy. And I love massage. It's a great tool. However, I felt I wasn't getting to the source of the issue or the concern. And I really wanted to release it so that people could move on for myself and for others. And that's when I went into the Chinese medicine, did my acupuncture, and then I did my degree through the Victorian University. So it was a journey of discovery. Doing even kinesiology was another big part of my healing, but reflexology was what my homeopath taught me first, and I just loved it. It wasn't easy to do on yourself because you got to get onto your foot and do it, but it's about getting in and clearing the issues. And for me, 25 years ago, my self-esteem was very low. I had no energy. I was just exhausted all the time. And I had 2 children to bring up and then a husband that travelled. So I really needed to be back on top of life. And that's when I realised I needed to spend time on me. And as a mother, you often are looking after everyone else, but you forget about yourself. So my journey has changed completely. I wouldn't normally be standing here in front of you 25 years ago. That was not who I was at all. And it's been a physical but also an emotional journey to go through why I was that way and how come I became or did those things and why I was sick. And so the journey went on, and natural therapies is part of our lives. It's something that I do for all of the family. And, if you're sick, you go and see Charmaine, your doctor, to look after you. And but our kitchen's very powerful as well. And I love to teach others to know how to do it from their own home as well.
So when you got that first diagnosis 25 years ago, what therapies did you explore? Did you go straight to TCM and then that's what cemented you, or did you go naturopathy first, or like you said, you saw a homeopath? What did you explore to fundamentally change that landscape of your body?
Originally, it was the homeopath, and she was the one that taught me the reflexology.
Yeah.
And within 6 months, I thought, I'll go, and that's when I studied massage therapy. And I studied the massage, and I loved, looking at the body, how it's structured and how it works. And I did that for 12 months. And then the next 12 months, I started working a little bit from home. You met people who had headaches and you said, I can help you. So I started treating a little bit from home. And then from there, after that, I went in, became a remedial massage therapist. And then through that remedial massage therapist, obviously we're treating each other in the colleges, and I would have a massage every 2 weeks, whether I could afford it or not, because it was part of my revival. And at the college, we did acupressure points, which is to do with Chinese medicine. And I thought, I really like that. And I think also the fellow who was the head fellow of the college, he could see, well, I'm only 4'10", so I'm not a tall or a big person. And he's thinking, Charmaine's going to get into this massage therapy. How's she going to survive? And that's when I also discovered acupuncture then. And that's where I morphed into the acupuncture. and became the acupuncturist. And then we've done the Chinese medicine and the herbs and a whole range of modalities within that. But in my book, I talk about 5 keys, and out of all of them, the most difficult is the mindset. And that's when I've gone and done some self-discovery through the mindset. And did I go to a particular therapist? I know I did an online event with a lady in Sydney for 12 months just to spend time on me, because I had obviously grown up and had children, but I never really spent time on me. I never knew who I was. And that's where I came in to do all these different modalities, but to understand, well, what is it I really want and who am I? And even today, it's still about a bit of a process, creating a routine to have that time out to know who you are and keep working through it, because little things will keep triggering us for different reasons. And I know I've gone off the treating of hands-on that I do, but it's never just one thing to get our bodies right. Never just one thing. And diet was another big one that the homeopath taught me. And I believe I'm still learning today. There's always more we can learn, and working out, well, what is the right thing for that individual body, because we're all different body types. And not what suits you, Joshua, will suit me, and vice versa. And that's where we have to give a compromise. We can't put us all in a box. We're not meant to be in a box. And that's where I come from, I suppose, and why I've got into natural therapies, and the therapies I've used over those years has been many and varied. But the biggest thing is, whoever you go to, no matter who it is can you relate to them? And is this going to help you? But is it you? Because I've been in business so many years, I've had different website people, I've had different people help me through my business as a business. But I've sat back later and thought, I know that's them, but it's not really me, their hard sell or whatever it might have been. And they've led me to their direction, but really that wasn't me. So it's important we come back to ourselves, and it's not about being selfish, but if we're the best version of me, I can be the best version to other people and other people we meet, and ways of helping others. So I've just been launching my new website, and it's made me look at the past website. Was that really me? You know, and thinking, is it me, and how can I make this my business to be me, not what somebody else thinks it should be as well.
Wonderful. And again, like when you do that, then you'll find your niche, won't you? You'll start to attract the clients you're looking for. You start to be able to practice in the medicine in the way that you want to start to practice.
Of course.
And it's one of the things that I love the most about Chinese medicine is the 5 elements sort of concept, right?
Yes.
Because how everyone's a bit different. We all have different balances of these elements, and it's all about how to find that harmony through our bodies in order to create, again, the best version of yourself, so that you're all working in the best way that you can.
Yes. Yeah.
Such a Taoistic concept as well, right? Like getting in line with your Tao and moving forward and in sort of your way and what your place is in the universe.
Of course it is, yes. And I think, as most therapists, if we discover ourselves, that's when we can be our best, like you just said, because then we can share what we know, but also it comes from the heart. And if it comes from the heart, it's a much better place than here's a script, or here's this, or here's that. And sometimes it's about trusting oneself to be able to achieve and do and share.
So obviously 25 years is a long time to be in the business.
And I've still got my hands.
That's it, yeah.
I've still got my hands.
I mean, so you've obviously changed from when you come out of college. How do you think your journey has shifted in terms of the way you practice, in terms of the way you do the medicine and remedial massage, Chinese massage, the mindset sorts of stuff? How have you added to your skill set and changed that? How's it affected you as a practitioner with that sort of that long time?
Well, maybe I'll give you the story of where
yeah.
I was
Please.
and how I went. So obviously I was sick, and that's when I started the process of learning massage therapy. Then I started delivering and treating, because my mother and my auntie actually bought me a massage table. They sort of could see that I could do this type of thing. And that's when I started treating, and that was that first year. I wouldn't have, back then I might have spent 2 hours on people and only charged $10, which is kind of ridiculous when I look back in my head now. But up around that wall, I had all my study notes to learn and keep learning as well. So I was learning while I was treating. And then the next 3 to 4 years, I did my remedial massage therapy, and I fitted that in around the home life, the people, and I made it fit. I didn't, if there was a course on and it wasn't the right timing to work with the children or my husband or whatever, I just wouldn't do it. So I made it fit around my life instead of it controlling me, was one big thing. And I'd listen to Louise Hay in the car all the time, going in and out of the college. So that helped my mindset, because there was a year there that every time I went into college, my tears were just enormous. My hormones were really and truly out, but it was also the possibility of shifting country at that moment and that time. And I can remember, what am I doing? But I kept moving forward because I loved helping others. That was my thing. And then the next few years after that, I still kept working my business at home, kept in contact with my clients. It's always in the follow-up that to create your business. And then as we kept going from there, or I kept going from there, I should say, that's when a degree opportunity came up that I went through the Victorian University. And that was a challenge in itself, because it meant driving from Ferny Hills all the way down to the Surfers Paradise to actually go and do this course. But it was important. I listened to myself. I knew it cost me money. All of these things cost money, but I listened to myself. Is this really in my heart? Am I really enjoying this? And then as that journey evolved, I worked from home for 18 years in that process. And at that 18-year time, I had wanted to take the business out of the house because I felt I couldn't sell the business from the home. I couldn't sell my clientele because I had over 800 clients on my books at that point. And And so those clients, I still wanted to look after them. So I took it out. I worked out where I could go commercially. And the clinic is still there today. And I was there for 7 years, commercial, still profitable. I've always been profitable. I haven't made rocket science amount of money, but I've been profitable. And that's what's important here. We've got to remember it's still about making some money for you as well. And that's 7 years.
Just, on that, it's so important because I think we get into this little bit of a problem with natural therapies where we think it has to just be a sacrifice, like bad people in business. We're natural therapists. We don't get to do that sort of stuff. That's what I see from a lot of people. But at the end of the day, this is your skill set. You're providing your skill set. So, you have to make it profitable. You have to make some money. Everyone likes to go on holidays. Everyone likes to eat,
That's
obviously, right? So it can't just all be sacrifice and draining yourself,
Well, Joshua, that's another story, that one, because my parents said to me, you can't make people pay you for your services. Yeah. That's what my parents taught me. And I have spent many times to get myself through that. Because even when people walk through the door, sometimes you think, they can't afford it. I'll put my prices down. And I ended up going to packages once I got into the practice or into the commercial property. I changed my money setup, and people would either pay up front or it would be on a regular debit type thing. So it was all set up differently, but it also made the client be accountable as well to come into the clinic. And yes, that money thing is a big thing that we do need to sit down. And if anybody needs some help with it, I'm happy to go through and do some mindset to help shift. Because I can remember a story of this fellow, his parents had a news agency, and his parents always said that money is dirty, you know, when you touch it. And obviously we're not touching money quite so much these days, but money was dirty. And he just couldn't receive money. And what he did was get all his $100 bills and he put them over his body, and he actually had an asthma attack because of the fear that the money was dirty. And it helped him get through what he needed to go through. But yeah, money is a big thing from a natural therapy perspective, but it's also coming back to ourselves, how much we value ourselves, because if you're sick, you can't work. And that was another big thing, because, and as I said, I've still got my hands after 25 years. There's no osteo or anything in there. And you think a lot of therapists will start hands-on work, but within 3 to 5 years, they can't do it because the hips are sore or their hands are sore, whatever it might be. But it doesn't have to be. If you know how to look after yourself, you can heal yourself.
So important, hey? So.
Yeah, and so I guess that 7 years in the commercial practice was a different energy to the house energy.
Yeah.
And sometimes people expect to pay more because you're in a commercial compared to a home. And that's not right or wrong, but it's also the client understanding what you've done, but also what you offer. And that's where programs come in, working out, well, what is it I offer? You know, we might do a massage treatment or an acupuncture treatment, but what else do we offer? Do we offer mindset? Because I've put together not videos, they're recordings. So when they're on the table, they're listening to recordings as well. Is it you give out a tip sheet? So I don't know how many I've done over the years, but there'd be about 20 plus of number of different tip sheets sitting there to pull out. And then is there questionnaires? You know, what are they doing? And we'll send people away because they've come for pain, and you're treating that pain and you help that pain. And then they'll go away, and then the next week they say, oh, no, it's no better. That's where you give them a sheet to say, fill this in. Tell me, how's your pain tomorrow, the next day, or whatever. And then they realise, oh, it's gone. Oh, I'd forgotten about that. So be aware that it's about getting them to see what you're seeing to help them move forward and heal their lives. Because if they're healthier, our world will be a much better place. We won't be so angry and upset and irritable and frustrated and annoyed with life.
Yeah, definitely. It's meant to be lived, isn't it? It's meant to be lived in and engaged with and having fun. And it's no good if you.
That's true, Joshua. Yes.
So after that 7 years in the commercial, what happened? How did you change?
I actually sold the practice.
Yeah.
I had trained another acupuncturist, and she's taken it on. It's still alive and it's still surviving today. She's gone through COVID, no problem. And I am now working back at home in my room here, but on a smaller basis. And I'm doing more telehealth, doing online programs with a number of people of Master Your Mindset, Master Your Hormones, and Kickstart the Metabolism. So there's those three. Because I have so many different things I can pull into the bag, I've had to condense, and I'd encourage people to condense what they really love and focus on that and get that as that's what you want to do, to heal and help people improve. I'll still do a little bit of treatments at home here, and however, the programs online are where I'm going and what I'm doing a lot more of, and starting to get them to be synchronized and automated as well, which all takes time, effort and energy. And when you're busy working, it's hard to fit it all in. However, the Kickstart, I know I've got other practitioners who are going to start using that program when I go to do it, because it's only offered twice a year, and that will let their clients be better and healthier as well. But then they'll get paid some money, etc. and that, yes.
So if I'm a client and I'm looking at coming towards you, what's a consultation look like nowadays for me? What do you sort of specialize in? What do you like to treat? What sort of clients are you looking for with your wealth of knowledge and experience? Well,
it's a funny thing. I will tend to go more towards the women and hormones, helping their hormones, because a lot of women are in pain on a monthly basis, but they think it's normal. It doesn't have to be. And it's a bit like menopause. I think Mum went through menopause. Of course, I'm going to go through menopause. It does not have to be. And it's helping them change. Like through this Kickstart recently, we did a lot of food, talking about food, the different types of foods and just changing foods. And this one young lady, her period was always heavy, clotty, and quite a problem. And even just by changing her food, I haven't even given her any Chinese herbs yet, her period has been much better. And you think, how simple is that? And we've obviously dealt with her mindset a little bit, but we did it as a group. So therefore she felt included, and she's quite a card, this lady. She's quite funny. And some of the things she says and does is quite amazing. But she just knows absolutely zilch about her food diet. And it's about helping them learn to plan. What am I putting in my mouth? Thinking about what am I going to go buy and shop today, instead of picking up the chips as I walk out the door at the shops. So these days, I love treating women. I love helping the mindset. And when they come in for a treatment, I'll do all of that in what I do, because I have those modalities. But on saying that, I do treat men too. Obviously, at the moment, I've got this fellow who's coming in who's doing boxing as it's not a career, but as a bit of extra training, etc. And he's a tall, big man, fit, but everything is so tight. And he said, after I treated him the other day, he said, I felt like I had gone through a rugby game without the pain, without the bruised muscles. But, after 2 treatments, he's a different person. And you think, wow, and that's through the acupuncture, massage, cupping, and I've given him some herbs as well. Some magnesium and some fish oils. They're the 2 keys I've given him at the moment. So there's lots of, these days I don't tend to segregate or say I won't treat you, or if the right person comes along and they say yes, and I know when I went commercial, I called my business Banksia Women's Healing Centre, so it was a women's healing centre, and whereas before it was Banksia Healing Centre, and I did target the women there. And yes, these days it's a mix, and that would be the simplest thing. But it's really about the person who comes to me who really wants to put some effort in as well to help themselves heal. It's not just about me. I'm just a tool to guide them through, to help them, support them. And then once they've got through their pain or their ills, it's then about maintaining. And that is a big market we need to teach our clients, is how to maintain and look after the person. and whether it's every 4 weeks or whether it's every 6 weeks. So for me, I go every 2 weeks for a treatment, whether it's for an acupuncture treatment one time and then a massage treatment the next time. That's what I've designed myself and taught myself, that it's a must, Charmaine, for me to be able to treat 50 clients in a week. I needed to do that. Otherwise, I couldn't keep going. I wouldn't have my hands. I wouldn't have my physical body, because I've run 6 half marathons in the last 10 years. So you know, it wasn't until I hit 50 that I did that.
Yeah,
right?
wow.
But it's setting that mind. It's if we don't have a goal, we don't get there.
Yeah.
We can plod along and we can expect someone to give us a call for an appointment, but people don't. You have to get out there and do that little bit of work, a little bit of connection. You've got to connect with people, got to go to different business meetings even. And, you know, as I said, 25 years ago, I wouldn't be standing in front of you right now. I would have been hiding in my little corner at home because that's where I was comfortable.
With this as well, you were mentioning that you do stuff for practitioners. Can you just explain some of those different things? Are they online courses that practitioners can take?
What I've done at the moment is with the Kickstart the Metabolism, I'm offered to practitioners that they can have that. The program I've set up, I will guide their clients through, but then it's still they're still their clients, and then what would happen is they would get a bonus because of the product sales, etc. The product sales would go through them, and therefore they still make money. So that's the only one I've done so far with the practitioners. But if there happens to be people saying, "Hey, I want to learn more how to have a better business," I have got information all set there ready, but I haven't set it up as such to say I've got a program already. There, because of where I've come from, and all the things I've done with you know, even websites. That's always a challenge in itself, and it can cost you thousands.
100%.
And this last fellow, I laid down the rules and I said, this is all I'm going to spend. This is what we're going to do. But he's been very good and very helpful. And it's like a sigh of relief. It's not so stressful because those things take so much stress out of you, and you're there trying to make money, and you're spending it on, you know, you're making money on one hand and you're spending it on the other hand. And what about you in the middle?
Yeah, that's right.
And that's coming back to that self-worth and knowing. There's a course called the Mindset Mastery, which I'll do in July, and that's a great one for a self-discovery. A lot of it is what I've implemented in my life, and I love doing it every year because it puts a check into me, but it also highlights something different, because as we peel off one layer, there's another layer, and those layers keep happening and keep changing in our lives. So yeah.
Well, this has been absolutely delightful. Thank you so much, Charmaine. I really appreciate your time. So if this sounds great to anybody, which it does, like, where can they contact you? How can they get in touch?
Would you be able to put up my email address or anything?
Definitely, yeah. We'll link everything underneath.
Okay.
But, is your website up and running now? Like you said,
yes,
you're under construction.
They only opened it yesterday or the day before, the new one. Perfect. It's not all the connections are clear and complete, but they're in the process. So by email, but I'm happy to just even have a chat with people and see where they're at, see if I can help them, because we do a lot of traveling around Australia in any way, and you never know, I might pop into their clinic one day for a treatment even when I'm out and about. So and look, I think we can all help each other, and you know, as therapists, it's tough. Often you're treating on your own, you're being your own boss, but it's not always easy to help it grow and become that bigger business if you want it to be.
Yeah. Well, everyone, check out the links below that we'll have. Get in contact with Charmaine, and we'd just like to say thank you so much for being on Therapist Spotlight. It's been absolutely wonderful.
Okay, you're welcome. It's been great fun. Thank you for that, Joshua.
No worries, guys. And everyone out there, have a great day and have a good life, and we'll catch us all later.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you.
Thank you for listening to Therapist Spotlight. If you would like to know more about ANTA, visit us at www.anta.com.au.